Hi, Simon Chappell here. I'm the Quit Alcohol Coach, and as always, I'm here to help you smash your sobriety. If you enjoy the videos on my channel, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. That'll make sure you get alerted every time that a new video is uploaded. Today, I'm joined by an old friend of mine, and we lost contact some years ago after she moved to France. And recently, I discovered that she's been sober for over 18 months. And she quit drinking to lose weight and for health reasons. And her story really is interesting. And today she's going to share how she moved from a place where she was drinking most days and never thought she could quit through to breaking free from alcohol and completely transforming her life. So I hope you enjoy it. Her name's Ellen, and I'm going to jump right over now to the video, which I recorded yesterday. So I'm delighted to be joined by Ellen, who's been sober for just over 18 months. I think that's right, just over 18 months, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 611 days today.
To be precise.
Yeah.
And Ellen and I actually have known each other for years. You used to work in the gym that I went to, and
Yeah.
at the time I actually was having a break from work, so I used to hang around there for much longer than was appropriate. um,
Absolutely.
and it's great. Yeah, it's great to hear that you're on your own journey and you've quit drinking, and it's so awesome that you've come on to share a bit about your story. And I'm sure everyone would like to know, first of all, what life was like when you were drinking, how you found out there was a problem or that something needed to change, and what you did to quit and what life's like since. So maybe, if it's okay, we could start with a bit about what your drinking life looked like.
Okay, so I started drinking really, really young. Like the culture in my household was, I remember being 4 or 5 and being on holiday and drinking, a little bit of port and lemonade with my parents. It was always a little bit of wine in my water at the dinner table. And then when I was 12, 13, drinking peach schnapps and lemonade. And then when I was 15, 16, it was hanging around the streets drinking Mad Dog 2020, White
God,
Lightning.
I remember that.
Yeah. Until I was ill. And then 16, 17, being in the pubs and drinking until I was sick most weekends. And I've got brothers who are 8 and 9 years older than me. So I was always kind of keeping up with them. And I used to be really proud of the fact that I could outdrink any guy that I was friends with. Tequila slammers, everything, around my early 20s. We moved to France when I was 28. And when we moved, alcohol is so cheap here. I mean, you can go and get a glass of wine or a beer for less than you can get a coffee. So we were buying every week a case of white, a case of red, a case of rosé, and getting through that easily each week. And then I became pregnant, stopped drinking through my first 2 pregnancies, but went straight back to it afterwards. And in my 3rd pregnancy, I didn't really stop drinking. I had a glass of wine a night, more or less, throughout the pregnancy. And then, my daughter, who was 3 at the time, she fell and broke her nose one night. And I remember it, and I would describe it to people as it was really lucky because it was the one night we hadn't had a drink, and we live in the middle of nowhere. And I remember saying, if I had had a drink, we would have had to call an ambulance to come and get her. So it was really unusual for us to have a night that we didn't drink. In about 2014, I started following the Whole30 diet plan, and for that you give up drinking for 30 days as well as healthy eating. So all through kind of 2014, I was more or less not drinking, and I loved it, absolutely loved it. I loved the way that it made my skin change, that I wasn't bloated, but I would ultimately always go back to drinking. In January 2019, I gave up. I did a Whole30 for January. I had been to the doctor. I had blood pressure problems. I've always been into health and fitness, but I couldn't ever shift the weight that I was carrying. My blood pressure was a problem. My dad had died at 63 from heart disease. So I was really aware I'd had preeclampsia with my third pregnancy. And I knew that something needed to change. I did a Whole30, stopped drinking for January, and I said to myself, I'll treat myself once a month to a drink. And then I got to the end of the 30 days, and I thought, why am I kidding myself? I'm not treating myself by having a drink at the end of the 30 days. If I was treating myself, I would give up drinking altogether. So it was like a really quiet sobriety. I didn't even realise that I was doing it. I certainly didn't tell anybody else that I was doing it. I just decided, no, I feel better, I sleep better, I look better. So I'm going to carry on not drinking. And I didn't set myself, I'm going to give up forever. I just thought, this is who I want to be. I was losing so much time of the day, because at 5 o'clock we'd be like, all right, who wants a drink? And then I would sit on the sofa watching TV from 5 till midnight, and then go to bed, and then wake up after a bad night's sleep feeling rough, getting up at 9-10 o'clock, and all of a sudden I wasn't drinking, and I had an extra 5-6 hours in the day. And so I've started doing things in the evening. If the kids say, can we go out, can we go for a bike ride, I'm like, yeah, we can, because I've got energy and I'm quite happy to do it. So that was 18 months ago, and I've never looked back.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you didn't read any quit lit, sober books, anything like that? You just...
No, I did it like backwards. So I gave up, and it's all for trying to lose weight. I'd always, trying to lose weight, my resting heart rate. I'm really into, obviously I used to work in the gym, so I'm all into resting heart rate, blood pressure, but I couldn't out exercise the alcohol. So my blood pressure and my resting heart rate came right down. So I'd gone from the doctor wanting to put me on tablets to now it's absolutely fine. And yeah, I kind of did it backwards. I found your sober community after about 5 months, and then started looking at actually the way that people do use alcohol, and addressing certain things of why I used alcohol. But it's such a big culture thing that I'm the odd one out for not drinking, and people say to me, why do you not drink? I'm like, why would you drink? It's the most bizarre thing. We are literally taking a shot of poison and poisoning ourselves. It's like the weirdest culture. And then, yeah, I started reading the books, obviously joined your group, and finding out more about it. But yeah, it was very quiet sobriety.
Maybe that's a really good way to do it, actually, instead of blasting it from the rooftops and putting pressure on yourself. I suppose the other thing as well is, I guess your motivation to get your blood pressure, your resting heart rate and blood pressure where you wanted it to be, and your motivation to lose weight must have been pretty strong for that to have been actually enough for you to think, that's, I'm not going to drink. I'm so motivated and determined to do that it means not drinking. I mean, because was there not a sense of loss that I can't drink?
Oh, I changed that dialogue really quite after a couple of months, from I can't drink to I don't drink. I don't drink because I know that I feel better. And yeah, I definitely, to start off with, it was really difficult. And I used to say, no, I can't drink because I'm on this diet. Now I don't drink because I feel amazing because I don't drink. So yeah, there was a sense of loss to start off with, but it was habit forming more than anything. If I could get through 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock without a drink, then the rest of the evening I was fine. So yeah, after 2-3 months, it just became the norm.
Yeah, I think, and that's so often the case. It's getting through that tough early period. For some people, it's a couple of weeks. For some people, it lasts a longer time. but once you're through that, you develop a new habit, and it just becomes a new normal, but with all the gifts of sobriety, like you say, skin, no darkness under your eyes, no
Yeah.
bloating. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, I'd seen, I've got family who drink a lot, and I'd seen who are much older than me, and I'd seen how they look, and I'm like, that's not how I want to be. And being sober and being around people who've had a drink, I was looking at them and thinking that's not who I want to be either. I'm a bit of a control freak. I like being in control. I like being in control of myself. And I am when I'm sober, but I'm not when I'm drunk. So, yeah, I didn't have a dependency as such, but I definitely had a habit of just drinking a bottle a night, every night. And now I've changed the community that I hang around with. I really wanted to find a different community. So I go indoor climbing, we go out mountain biking. I've found a different community of friends who, it was really nice actually. I went round to my friend's house and none of the women were drinking. And it was such a different community that I'd been around before, where everyone is getting that red wine glaze around their lips, on their face. And I just think that's not who I want to be. And I want to be around people that are similar to me, who do different things and are living a life that's so much more out there than getting drunk every evening. There's a whole world out there.
So true. And
Yeah.
I think in a lot of cases we can drift apart from friends, especially when alcohol is like the glue that kept us together.
Yes.
And that absolutely happened to me. But I mean, I don't have, I'm sure you don't either, friends who are just sober friends. Yeah, I've got sober friends.
Yeah.
But I think it's the activities that I do don't revolve around alcohol. So I might go to a fitness class. So the focus is on the fitness. Sure, some of the people drink, but it's not about that.
No, exactly. That's exactly it. I go out walking with friends. Yeah, as I said, we do climbing. We go to Zumba. We go and we have a good laugh. Yes, they go off at the end of climbing. Everyone always offers a beer. It's like the nicest atmosphere. And at the end, I just say no, thanks. I don't drink. It's fine. But yeah, exactly. What we do is not centered around alcohol. It's not let's get together and have a drink. And I was being sick. After I had the kids, I'd found friends that we were drinking, and here it's completely acceptable. Midday, you have a drink.
Yeah, I bet.
But I can't drink. I go bright red when I have alcohol. I was being sick, and then I started thinking, this is not what I want the kids seeing. And I was doing that thing of like glorifying alcohol for them as well. That here we are, we're having a gin and tonic, you have a tonic water. It's like a children's version. And then when I thought about it, after I'd given up drinking, I was thinking, that's not the parent I want to be. I don't want them thinking that all there is to life is getting drunk. I want them to go out and want to do things, be outdoors all the time.
And you've got 3 children, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a 7-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 12-year-old.
So do they know that you've quit drinking? Do you talk to them openly about it?
Yes. And it's funny because they always used to be like, oh, mummy's got a glass of wine. And they would have a shandy or whatever. But now, yeah, they know that I don't drink. I'm very, as I said, I changed my dialogue about it. No, it's not that I can't drink, it's that I don't want to drink. And we go out. Our holidays have changed. Our time together has changed. We go on holiday, but we're doing things during the day. We go out walking together. We went over to the mountains. I was ziplining with the kids. We were up on the Aqua Branch. It wasn't centered around, right, it's midday, let's have a drink and the children can take care of themselves.
Yeah.
I'm interacting with them all the time. And that's so much better. I desperately want them to see that there's more to life than just drinking.
Yeah, and I don't think I know anyone who's quit drinking and who's got kids who hasn't become a better parent.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, what a gift.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And I don't know what to expect from them. It's a different culture here to it was in the UK for a start. So kids aren't out getting drunk like they were in the UK. Um, you'll see youngsters here who are in their 20s who will share a carafe of wine, and they'll have a glass and they'll leave, whatever's left. So I don't know what to expect from them when they get teenagers, whether they're going to be experimenting quite as much as I did, or look at me and and decide it's not for them. I don't know.
I think just by having that conversation, though, you kind of give them the tools to make a much more informed decision, and in many ways set them up for success.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
Because when we're glamorizing it in front of them, I mean, I had a picture pop up on my Facebook feed from 7 or 8 years ago of my son, and we were at a wedding, and he had my pint of beer, and he was like sort of jumping up and down, taking a swig out of it, and I thought it was hilarious at the time.
Yeah.
And all I'm doing is just giving him this learned behavior of drinking's funny. That's how you have a good time. This is what.
Yeah.
You do. But he's changed so much since he's witnessed my journey.
Yeah, it is strange how we just do exactly the same to them that was done to us. That this is what it's going to be. As soon as you're an adult, you're going to be drinking every night, and you can't have a good time unless you're drunk or drinking. And ours was the same. I put a picture on Facebook of us camping in the garden 3 years ago, and all the kids had shandies in beer bottles, and somebody said, "Oh, I can't believe they're drinking beer at that age." And I was like, no, it's shandy. But then when I'm thinking back now, it's just glorifying exactly, we're having a beer, they're having a shandy. But that's, yeah.
And you turn it into like a rite of passage into adulthood. This is what being an adult's all about.
Yeah, which is rubbish. I don't want to be that role model to them. And since I've given up drinking, oh God, I feel really clear-headed about things. So for my 40th birthday, I went to New Zealand by myself and met up with my brother over there, and we did all sorts of things. So we went up on helicopters, up to the glaciers. I was skydiving. It's just, I've become a completely different person. Before, when I was drinking, I wouldn't have done any of that. I was so lethargic all the time. Would say that I don't have time to do things, or I don't have energy. Now I have lots of time and lots of energy, so it's brilliant.
Yeah, I don't think you'd get me to do a skydive. I've got massive respect for you doing that.
You have to do one.
Oh my God, no, don't.
You do. Everyone has to do one in their lifetime. It's like it's now or never. So.
But you're so right that those new levels of motivation and energy, it's just incredible. And so much of it is because we sleep better and we're hydrating and nutrition's right. But I suppose the other point around that is that alcohol sucks the joy out of the normal things in life. So when I was drinking, the idea of even going to the park with my son to kick a football around, I just didn't want to do stuff like that. I remember going to a school bonfire night on fireworks evening and just not wanting to be there making a fuss because I wanted to be at home drinking. I had a row with my wife, but then I went the next year after I'd quit, and I was engaged, I was present, I enjoyed it.
Absolutely. And even as silly little things, like we have friends who who came and visited us, but were staying down the village, and they were drinking and they wanted to drive home drunk. And normally it would be this massive thing of like, well, who's driving? I want to drink tonight, and really getting in a fuss about, well, no, I want to drink, so I'm not driving. And I was like, well, I don't drink. I can drive you home. It's like the best feeling ever. I am not missing out on anything. I'm quite happy, and I'm happy to be the one that can take you home safely and not let you drive home. It was a real realization moment of, hang on a minute, this is a brilliant kind of side effect from it. Yeah, fine, if you want to drink, you drink, because I don't drink and I'm clear-headed and I can bring us home.
Yeah, you do tend to turn into a taxi driver. That's true.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like you say, you're keeping people who are drinking safe.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah.
I remember, it's funny you say that as well, because that kind of all the fuss around a night out. We've never touched on that in a video actually, but the fuss we would make. I remember if I got tickets to a gig for a band I like and it was in London, then it was okay, well, we're going to need to get a hotel. The hotel needs to be near to the venue because I want to drink. Then I need to take wine with me. I need to make
Yeah.
sure there's a bar there. We need to get there early enough to have a drink before, and then you've got a massive hangover and you've got to drive back the next day with the hangover. Now it's just drive there, we drive home and get into my comfy bed.
It's a revelation. And yeah, getting back into your own bed, there's nothing better than that. But it's getting to a place when you're both drinking and who can drink the fastest, because as soon as I've had 2 or 3 drinks and I've done that quicker than you, then it means that you can't drink for the rest of the evening. And it was getting into that whole kind of thing, whereas now I'm like, I don't mind, you do whatever you want to do, but I'm clear-headed and I like it like that. I like that control.
And were you comfortable around other drinkers fairly early on? Because a lot of people report that as a trigger, as an issue when people are drinking around them. How was that for you?
For me, that was fine. I am around people that I think should give up alcohol, I'm very strong in the fact that no, this is my journey. I am doing what I want to do. You do what you want to do. You do you. But it wasn't a trigger for me.
Right.
We have people that come and stay with us. Of course, being in France, we have friends and they come and stay for a few days, and they'll kind of say, well, can we drink when we're at the house? I'm like, absolutely, and I'll buy you the alcohol. I know I used to be a big drinker and I loved drinking, but no, I'm doing me, you do you. If you want to drink, that's fine. But I'm kind of stubborn, so that's fine.
I found it quite hard in the early stages. I certainly didn't go to any social events, and I had to ask my wife. There was some alcohol in the house, but I asked her to not have red wine in the house because that I felt would have been a trigger. I still don't even like looking at red wine really.
No.
But yeah, I totally get that. And you're right, focus on what you can control. You can take care of yourself. You can't control other people or force them. I mean, okay, you can set boundaries if people are triggering, but it sounds like to you it just wasn't a thing.
No, it's because we're here, it's easier, I suppose. If I was going out to dinner with people or stuff like that, I would find it difficult. But I'm very kind of, once I do something, I'm all or nothing. So I knew for the 30 days I was going to give up. I knew that it was going to be difficult for the first 10 days because I've done it numerous times before. I didn't think that I would give up forever at this point. But it just, it's always been, this is what I'm doing. You do what you need to do. And
I think that I find a lot of people who are, particularly sort of heavier drinkers, who are all or nothing people. I talk about this quite a lot actually. And now all or nothing, if you mix it with an addictive substance, it doesn't normally end very well.
No.
But when you've got that all or nothing personality or that trait, and you channel it in the right places, you can achieve some amazing things. Like look at your trip to New Zealand. You did all these incredible things, and I've seen people who've built businesses. They've gone far in their career or with their health or whatever, and it's because they've got that all or nothing trait, and they've channeled it in the right way.
Yeah, and I really looked, after I'd given up drinking, I was thinking I can really be the person that I want to be. And I don't know if some of that's like midlife crisis and turning 40, but it was a case of, right, who do I want to be? And I have the energy and the motivation and that kind of personality to actually, this is what I want to work towards. This is what I want to change. Going into, I want to work from home. I want to make a business from it. I want to be that person that's out with their kids and engaging with their kids and doing activities we can do together. I don't want to be that person that is drinking and leaving the kids to it. So it's really changed where I put what I put my energies into, but it's now it's positive things all the way.
Yeah, and you just become so much more self-aware, and it's sort
Yeah,
of, I often describe it like peeling back the layers of an onion. We stop drinking, and then we start discovering things about our life, changing things that we're not happy with, that we want to improve, and you
yeah,
just keep, you, instead of just accepting things as they are and just carrying on drinking to blot it all out.
yeah, yeah. It's absolutely. You can be who you want to be. You can change things, and that's definitely come from my not drinking. Uh, it has. It's opened up a whole new world to me. I've changed beyond belief in the last 18 months. I think it's just I've become a completely different person. So much more confidence in myself. I think more than anything.
That's incredible. It's such a journey. And it's so strange that we were friends who saw each other almost on a daily basis. Then you moved to France and we kind of
Yeah,
lost contact. We were friends on Facebook, and then
yeah,
your sobriety drew us back together again.
absolutely. Yeah, it was brilliant.
It's crazy. Oh, you've done absolutely amazing. So what does the future hold?
Well, I would definitely like to coach other people who are interested in becoming sober, because for me, it's the future, it's the way forward. So I'm doing that. Um, I want to be as active as possible, and I want to travel the world when we're allowed to as well.
That's funny, actually. 'Cause, yeah, I've done so much more traveling since I quit, and yeah, I was really getting quite into it, and then
Yeah,
yeah, it all got stopped. But I think you'd be an amazing coach, actually motivating and mentoring people, and not just on the sobriety side. You understand the fitness, the nutrition, that sort
yeah.
of thing as well.
It all ties in together. I mean, I don't think for me, it was a real thing with alcohol. It's not just the calories from the alcohol. It was the kind of sod it attitude. As soon as I'd had a couple of drinks, all willpower would go. Um, so there was the extra calories from what I was eating because I didn't give a damn. And then when you're hungover, just craving junk food to get you through the hangover as well. So it does all go in hand in hand. The nutrition, the hydration, um, the sobriety. It's yeah, it's such a better lifestyle.
No, it's brilliant. Oh, thanks so much for coming on and sharing your
You're
story. I'm
welcome.
sure we'll be connecting with each other a whole lot more.
Absolutely, I hope so.
Thanks, Ellen.
Thanks, Simon.